NFL fans, we are live. Sunday, 2 weeks before the NFL draft, we're going to go over some draft scenarios for all 32 NFL teams. And after the draft, guys, it's like the middle of May is when they start releasing the schedule. And then we'll already be ready for the schedule. So we're going to do like a live mock draft. I'm going to go on PFF. I'm going to go through the mock draft simulator. We're going to talk about the draft and see what's going on here, guys. So I hope you guys all had a great weekend. If you're new to the channel, my name's Jay, host of the Jay All Day NFL Show, and we're going to talk about some NFL draft. You got any questions about your favorite team and what I think they're going to do in the draft? Let me know down in the comments below, and we're going to kick this thing off, right? The Titans are on the board at number 1. For me, I don't see any scenario where the Titans trade this pick unless somebody absolutely blows them away with multiple first-round picks. And I don't think anyone has that high of a grade on Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward, but I don't know if he's necessarily worthy of like giving up multiple first-round picks for a long time. But Will Levis and Brian Callahan were at odds a lot last season. I don't think Brian Callahan is the biggest fan of Will Levis. So I think they're going to go Cam Ward. Cam Ward was incredible this year. He threw for 4,300 yards, 120 passer rating. He was extremely, extremely impressive, guys. So to me, I think Cam Ward is going to go number 1. If you guys could do me a huge favor, make sure you hit that like button. It does help us get out into the YouTube universe. He's really, really impressive. I mean, there's no other really way to slice it. And he didn't have a ton of monster weapons. 39 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. So I definitely think that he's the best quarterback in this draft class. I do like Shedeur Sanders more than most people. I have him in like the middle of the first round grade, in my opinion. I like Shedeur because he's accurate and he's tough. Accuracy plays at the NFL level, right? Everyone was criticizing me last year when I really liked Bo Nix because he was extremely accurate in college and it translated at the NFL level. So if you could be accurate in college, I think it can translate to the NFL, right? So I think Cam Ward goes number 1. I don't really see it going any other way. I would be very shocked if the Titans don't take Cam Ward. He goes number 1 to the Tennessee Titans. Appreciate you guys tuning into the live stream. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, guys. We're only 54 subscribers away from 15,000. I really appreciate you guys tuning into the channel and showing some love. Now, the Browns are on the board at number 2. For me, it's between Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. If you go Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett, you have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. But they need weapons on offense. And Travis Hunter is, top 3, maybe even number 1 wide receiver in this draft. At the end of the day, you can make packages for him on defense. It seems like the Browns see him more as a wide receiver than a cornerback. I just think Travis Hunter has great separation, pretty good ball skills, and I think he could be a quality wide receiver for the Browns at number 2. So the Browns, in my opinion, are going to go Travis Hunter at number 2. Yeah, the Browns, Sports Kid 15, I definitely think the Browns need a quarterback desperately. And they signed Joe Flacco. They brought in Kenny Pickett in a trade. So they're not obligated to go quarterback super early in this draft, but I do see them drafting one later in this draft. Yeah, I did see Julio did retire. I did see that. Yeah, I mean, Julio was one of the GOATs, man. In his prime, no one was better than Julio Jones, man. Unbelievable talent. Now, New York Giants fans, you are on the board at number 3 overall. I don't think they do go quarterback either. They brought in Jameis Winston to be the backup. They're paying Russell Wilson like a below-average starter. So you got 2 veteran quarterbacks. If you bring in Shedeur Sanders, he's going to probably be your number 3, right? So I don't see that happening. For me, I think they go Abdul Carter. Put him on a very good defensive line. So you have Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and all of a sudden, this Giants front seven is a very, very, very tough defense to deal with, man. And for a team that's not going to score a lot of points, you got to play really good defense, right? And I think that's the pick there. Giants, number 3, go Abdul Carter. Now, Patriots fans, you're on the board. They're in a tough spot. This is not how the Patriots want the board to play out. They're hoping Shedeur Sanders goes to one of those two teams at 2 or 3. I don't think it plays out that way. If I'm the Patriots, I'm trading this pick. I'm going to trade down to 8, to 9, to 10. If you get the Panthers, the Saints, the Bears, or the 49ers, or maybe even the Cowboys to come up, I think that's a great idea. But I'm not going to do any trades in this mock draft. But I do think this is a trade down spot for the Patriots. So if you look at this offense, they have no X wide receiver at all whatsoever. For me, Ted McMillan, if I'm drafting, my favorite X wide receiver in this draft class is Jaden Higgins from Iowa State. I don't think he goes that early. I think sometimes GMs want to go consensus, so they're probably going to go Tetairoa McMillan. He had back-to-back 1,300-yard seasons, 6'5", over 200 pounds. Pretty good separator, contested catch rate over 60%. Pretty good against man coverage as well. Ted McMillan goes number 4 to the Patriots. Drake May needs some weapons, guys, for sure. Yeah, KB, I agree with you, but there's just nobody at worth the number 4 pick. Are you going to take Will Campbell? He's a guard. That's not worthy of a number 4 pick. And then they brought in Morgan Moses on a 3-year deal to play right tackle. I love Armand Membu, but that doesn't make any sense either, right? I don't know why the Patriots signed Morgan Moses to a 3-year deal. I don't really understand that move at all. So I think they go Ted McMillan, Yeah, the Patriots got a lot of holes to fill, so we'll see how the Patriots do. Guys, I'm only 54 subscribers away from 15,000. So if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll really, really appreciate it. I like what the Panthers are doing. The Panthers' defense is still really bad, Jeremiah Johns. So they need to go a lot of defense in this draft. The offensive line actually played pretty good for Carolina last year, guys. So they got to go defense heavy in this draft for sure. At number 5, the Jaguars are up. I'm going to go with the chalk here. Mason Graham makes a lot of sense. I think he's a primetime player. I like Mason Graham. He could even go to the Patriots at 4 if Vrabel wants to go defense, even though they did just sign Milton Williams, so it doesn't make a ton of sense for them to do that. But Mason Graham to the Jaguars at 5, I like that. I like it, I like it, I like it. Yeah, I disagree, man. I disagree. So what are they going to do? KB, so what would you do for the Patriots at 4 if you don't go wide receiver? I would love to know in the comments down below, man. Let me know where you would go. Yeah, the Titans haven't drafted well at all. The key to being successful in the NFL is get a quarterback and then keep drafting well. Okay, so now number 6 on the board is the Raiders. The Raiders could go in a ton of different positions. They could go D-line, cornerback, like Will Johnson, receiver, running back. I wouldn't be surprised. I love Jaden Higgins. I'm telling you guys, at the end, in 2 years from now, everyone's going to be wishing they drafted Jaden Higgins. It's going to be like Puka Nacua. I'm telling you guys, he's so good. He is my favorite wide receiver in this draft class. Jaden Higgins, I'm super high on. But I don't think the Raiders go that route. With Ashton Jeanty on the board and Pete Carroll really loving to run the ball, Guys, we're at 14,947 subscribers. 53 more to go until 15K. Can you guys help me get there during this live stream? Let's do it. But yeah, I think they're gonna go Jeanty. I know it's probably an overdraft for a running back, right? But that's the biggest need. And that kind of takes pressure off of Geno Smith and this receiving core if they could go early and get a running back. I think Pete Carroll's going to want to run the football. Chip Kelly's going to want to run the football. He's the new offensive coordinator there. Genty could be very, very interesting. I'm going to go Genty to the Raiders at 6 overall. Now, number 7, guys, we got the Jets. And for me, the Jets have a ton of needs. An absolute ton of needs, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. 30 of us here now hanging out. My name's Jay. I'm a former Bleacher Report writer turned YouTuber, closing in on 15K. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I do predictions, bets, DraftKings, whatever you need. I'm here. Survivor pools. I do it all, guys. We had a killer year last year. The last 9 weeks of the season, we went 110 wins, only 39 losses with our predictions. That's why you got to hit that like button and subscribe, guys. Do I know what stop the cat means? No, I have no idea. If I'm the Eagles, I'm not in a rush, Dartmouth, to trade Tanner McKee unless they're going to give me a second-round pick. You got to make it worth it. Jalen Hurts, that physical style of football that he plays, could get hurt. And then we need a good backup, man. Like Dorian Thompson-Robinson's not that dude. So I'm in no rush to trade Tanner McKee at all whatsoever. G3443, I don't know, man. Let me know. I actually live in LA, so I love it. Yeah, the Raiders could be there in a few years. They got some really good players on that roster. It's going to take a little bit, though. All right, guys, our Jets are up at number 7 overall. For me, they're going to go Armand Membou. And the reason why they go Armand Membou is they got Olu Fashanu at the left tackle. You get a blue chip right tackle in Armand Membou. And now you got 2 gangster tackles for the next decade. And then you just build this team around it. You can really protect Justin Fields. I love Armand Membou going number 7 to the Jets. Now, the Panthers are on the board at number 8. Sorry. They could go Jody Barron. Malachi Starks is in the mix. And so is Jahad Campbell. I know a lot of pundits are mocking Jalen Walker all the way at number 8. I think that's a huge freaking reach. Huge reach. I'm not a big Jalen Walker fan. He's got a 13% missed tackle rate. He can't defend the run. I think he's a very, you need him to come in on third down and rush the passer, and he can't do a lot in the early downs, right? So, hey, Tracy, who won the Super Bowl? Don't worry, I'll wait. Hey, Tracy, who won the Super Bowl? Don't worry, I'll wait. All right, at number 8, I think I'm going to go the linebacker, Jahad Campbell. They need a general in the middle of that defense, and Jahad Campbell, he's got a really high floor, in my opinion. Great against the run, excellent in coverage, as well as rushing the passer. He can do it all. And for a linebacker to have a missed tackle rate under 10%, his is under 6%. He's really, really talented, man. So for me, Panthers, they got to get Jahad Campbell. I know it's early for a linebacker, but for me, in the positions that they need, they don't really need pass rushers. Their D-line's pretty good. Malachi Starks, Jody Barron don't do it for me, so that's why I like Jahad Campbell there. Now, Saints fans, you are on the board at number 9. Number 9. Yo, Derek Carr is super cheeks. Like Superman cheeks. And Spencer Rattler is not good either. Our boy Shedeur Sanders goes to the New Orleans Saints at number 9. Number 9. All right, Bears fans, you're on the board here. So, they could go running back. They could go D-line. They could go safety. A lot of places they could go. Could they go as early as Walter Nolan to the Bears? That could make some sense, right? But I think it's a little early for Walter Nolan. Will Campbell to the Bears makes some sense as well. I know they brought in a lot of guys in free agency like Joe Thuney, but his deal's up after this year, so they could definitely go offensive line. So I think that could make a ton of sense for the Bears here at number 10. I know it's not a super sexy pick, but I think that makes a lot of sense. So, guys, I'm going to go Will Campbell to the Bears at 10. This is how you build an NFL team. You build NFL teams through the trenches, right? And I think this is a great spot for the Bears to pick up one of the better offensive linemen in this draft class. Christina Amaral, welcome to the chat. Go Birds! No way. The Bills couldn't even get by a bum Kansas City Chiefs team that the Eagles blew out. And you thought they were going to beat the Eagles? No chance, man. No chance. What's up, Knox Anderson? Welcome to the chat. Pablo, my man, what is going on? Yeah, we're drafting at number 11 for the 49ers. You could go anywhere. The 49ers blew the team up. They could go D-line. A guy like Walter Nolan could make a lot of sense for them. So Robert Saleh's back running the defense. So they got a 4-3 scheme there in San Francisco. I like Walter Nolan, man. He could be a sexy pick for them. I do like myself some Walter Nolan. The offensive line could use some help. Cornerback. Yeah, I think the 49ers are going to go corner. I'm going Will Johnson from Michigan. Yeah, Edgar, I went Genty at number 6 to the Raiders. Will Johnson goes number 11, guys, to the 49ers. They need cornerback help desperately. I think that's the way to roll. Thanks, guys. We just added 2 more subscribers. We're at 14,949. One more to get to 14,950. And then we got 50 more to go until we get to 15,000 subscribers. All right. Here we go, Cowboys fans. You're on the board at 12. This is another team that could go a ton of different places. A guy like Walter Nolan could be really interesting to the Cowboys. Tyler Warren, another guy I think could absolutely go early to the Cowboys. Because they could just give them Jake Ferguson's contracts up at the end of this year and just give this offense another element, man, with a really good pass-catching tight end. That could be interesting. I like Luther Burden, too. A lot of people are, down on Luther Burden. But, yeah, the quarterback play at Missouri was pretty ass last year. I think Luther Burden's going to be a very, very good pro. For sure. I think he's going to be... I'll probably take Justin Herbert over Purdy all day long. Yeah, if you put Herbert in Shanahan's system, he would throw for 4K every year. Faux show! But yeah, Cowboys fans, where do we go? What do you think? Tyler Warren, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden? I think he could be definitely in a spot. 6 foot, 195. Matthew Golden. Yeah, Johnny Barron. See, for me, Johnny Barron's like a safety nickel hybrid. He only played 1 year in college at outside corner. Do the Cowboys really want to, in an offense that is so desperate for playmakers? Remember, Brandon Cooks is gone. So it's just CeeDee Lamb and a bunch of bums. And they brought in Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, right? The running back room is pretty old. I think I want to bring in a weapon, man. For me, it's between Tyler Warren and Luther Burden, right? For the Cowboys. Luther Burden does a lot of similar stuff as CeeDee Lamb. So I'm not doing that. I'm going to go Matthew Golden because I think he could play outside. And him and CeeDee Lamb could work really well together. Yeah, Rick, I just did that in the mock draft. Matthew Golden. He's one of the best separators in this draft class. If you watch his tape, he's really, really good across the middle getting open. He uses these shoulder shimmies to get corners off balance, and he can cut on a dime and he gets wide open. He's really, really impressive, man. I find that hard to believe. What is it? Scarish does stuff? There's no way after having 2 Achilles tendons with tendonitis in him, he's 100%. There's no way. No way. All right, now, Dolphins fans, you're up at 13. The Dolphins might have the worst safety room in the NFL. There's some offensive line depths in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds, but Malachi Starks could be really interesting. His draft stock's kind of all over the place, but I just think he's got one of the higher IQs in this draft class. Good size, 6'1", 205. Man, the safety room in Miami is awful. But they could go a guy like Josh Simmons. That could be very interesting as well. But I think they're going to go safety. That safety room is really, really, really bad. So I'm going to go Malachi Starks to the Dolphins at 13, guys. And then now, Colts fans, you're on the board here at number 14. They have so many needs. PFF says they need a tight end, a guard, an edge, linebacker, safety. You name it, they need it for the Colts. But Shane Steichen was a very productive offensive coordinator when he had a reliable tight end in his offense. They don't have that right now. So for me, I'm going Tyler Warren to the Colts at 14. That makes too much sense. Now, Falcons fans, you're up on the board. Mike Green is still available. You probably got to go Mike Green, right? The Atlanta Falcons were one of the worst teams in the NFL last year getting after the quarterback. I think they only had like 30-some sacks over the entirety of the season. So, I'm going to go Mike Green at 15 for the Atlanta Falcons. It makes too much sense. Mike Green is an athletic freak. And he was pushing guys around. He practiced at the Combine. He did not play in the game, but not at the Combine, at the Senior Bowl. He participated in all the drills and did really, 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 really good. Yeah, I don't know. It depends how the board falls, Edgar. You know, if none of the guys they brought in for their top 30 visits is there, maybe they trade back. But they already have a lot of picks over the next 2 years, so I don't know if that happens. Guys, we're up to 14,949 subscribers. If you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I'm getting closer and closer to 15,000, man. Almost getting there. All right, now, Cardinals fans, you're on the board, 16 overall. This is a spot where I think Jody Barron could be in play. They need cornerback help. They need D-line help, too. A guy like Walter Nolan could be in play here. Kenneth Grant could be in play. They're a 3-4 defense. Kenneth Grant could be a 0 technique, 1 technique in this kind of 3-4 scheme. 6'3", 340 pounds. He's a freaking beast, man. Walter Nolan's a little smaller, 6'3", 305. He could definitely probably play on the D-line for them and not be like an edge defender, you know. But we'll see what happens. But I think they're going to go Kenneth Grant here. I think that makes a lot of sense for the Cardinals at 16. Yeah, Grant is a stretch at 13. So 13, I went Malachi Starks, man, Rick, because if you look at the safeties on the Dolphins, it's the worst safety room in the NFL, in my opinion. And Malachi Starks is a really, really impressive safety. So I chose to go safety there. There's some D-line depth, and I think they could go. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Appreciate you, bro. I think they could find a D lineman later in the draft. But a guy like Malachi Starks is not going to be available in the second round. That's my thought process behind that pick at 13. All right, Bengals fans, you're on the board. Walter Nolan's still on the board. You're taking Walter Nolan. They're running that card in if Walter Nolan's available at 17. Bengals defense is ass. Yeah, Rick, the Dolphins have a lot of holes, man. It's a tough draft for the Dolphins because they got a lot of big holes to fill. And I think they could get a similar-ish player to Kenneth Grant. You know, like a guy like Alfred Collins or something like that in the second round. But, I don't see one of these top safeties. You know, maybe the kid from Penn State or Bakuba's there, but I don't know. I like the Malachi Starks pick there. Might be a little early for a safety there. They need corner help too. The top guy, Will Johnson, was off the board, and I don't see anyone else that's worthy. Like Trey Amos is not a top 15 pick in my opinion, right? And now the Seahawks are on the board at 18, and guess what the Seahawks need? A whole new freaking team. That's what they need. They need a center. They need a guard, edge defender. And for them to not have wide receiver as a need is crazy. because DK Metcalf is gone. Tyler Lockett is gone. It's just Jackson Smith and Jigba and nobody else. So a guy like Jaden Higgins could be interesting there, but I think they go offensive line. So I think Gray Zabel is on the board. Kelvin Banks, but the guy I love the best, I don't know if do they go tackle? Josh Simmons is on the board, man. I love Josh Simmons. He played left tackle and right tackle over his college career. So it's going to be hard for them to pass up on him. But Kelvin Banks is more of a tackle, but Gray Zabel is like a guard / center. So I think they could go Gray Zabel at 18. I know it might be a little bit of a reach, but they don't need tackle help that much. Yeah, the Dolphins look bad, man, for sure. Yeah, I think that but the Texans need an offensive tackle, Pablo. They need to go left tackle, Kelvin Banks, Josh Simmons, whoever's on the board. Now, Buccaneers fans, you are on the board here. They need D-back help. I'm going Jody Barron. He's still on the board here. It makes a ton of sense because Jody Barron is a very versatile guy. Barron can play safety. He can play nickel. He can play outside corner. Very beneficial to a team that kind of struggled in the secondary last year, did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Guys, we're still stuck at 14,949 subscribers. Come on. Show me some love, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Now, at 20, we got the Denver Broncos. They're on the board here. Broncos fan, Omarion Hampton. What a G he is. Back-to-back 88 graded years. Pretty much an outside zone, inside zone running back. Could be a gap runner, but definitely a little more successful on inside and outside zone. But 1,500 yards last year, 1,660 yards this past season. And he had the second most yards after contact, 1,222 yards after contact. That's so impressive, man. Top 10 in missed tackles forced. I mean, this dude is just carries a 15-plus yards, top 5. This guy is just so he could go earlier. 6'1", 220. Will teams start to value running backs a little bit more after the Saquon season? Possibly. But Broncos fans, you get your running back in Omarion Hampton. Nice, man. You got a Dan Marino rookie card, Jamie? It's always a good one, man. What's up, little G? Yeah, Rick. I like Kenneth Grant, but I just don't know if he's top 15 material. You know, I like him, but he was playing next to Mason Graham, so that made his life a lot easier, right? Aaron Rodgers is still out in no man's land, man. He hasn't signed with the team yet. Now, 21 overall, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, where do you go? Is Jackson Dart in play for the Steelers at 21? No Aaron Rodgers. So, for me, Jackson Dart could go here. Or do they wait to the second round? We'll have to see. But they don't need wide receiver anymore, bringing in DK Metcalf, and they don't have a second-round pick. So they really got to be cautious with this pick. You know, do they go defense here? Do they go safety? Do they go cornerback? Pittsburgh Steelers could go a lot of different places in this draft. I think they need tackle help really bad. The cornerback play was awful. So Trey Amos is the best corner on the board. I'm going to go Trey Amos to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They did bring in Darius Slay, but remember, it's a 1-year deal, so that doesn't matter. So I'm going to go Trey Amos, number 21 overall to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 22 overall. This is where Colston Loveland slide stops. I like this pick. He gets to reunite with his college coach in Harbaugh. Chargers get a great tight end. Listen, the Chargers need more weapons than Ladd McConkey, straight up. Ladd McConkey had a great rookie year, but teams are going to key in on that this year, so they need more weapons. Colston Loveland definitely does that. Very impressive guy. Yeah, Rick, that's why I went Trey Amos. I think corner's probably the way to go. What's up, Ham? What's going on, dude? Yeah, I haven't been doing a ton of lives, Ham. You know, I've been bouncing around. Got a lot of other stuff going on, so I'm trying to get up to 15,000 subscribers, guys. Trying to get up to 15K. We're at 14,949. Now, Green Bay Packers fans, you're on the board at 23. And this is where my dude goes. Jaden Higgins goes to the Packers at 23 overall. Jaden Higgins is an absolute dog. 90 overall grade at Iowa State, excuse me. Almost 1,200 yards, 9 catches, drop rate under 2.5%. Jaden Higgins, this dude is going to ball out. I hate the Packers because they're anti-tush push, but they get Jaden Higgins at 23 overall. Now, Vikings fans, you're on the board 24 overall. D-back, they need a safety so bad. What's his name? Harrison is like 50 million years old. There you go, D-line. I mean, the Vikings could really go so many different places. Yeah, I don't care what they do, but they should draft an X-wide receiver. So tell me, if they don't draft Jaden Higgins at 23, how do they get an X-wide receiver? How do they improve that roster? There's a reason why the Packers haven't won shit in a really long time. Because they don't adapt to their roster. They got a bunch of number 2s and 3s at the wide receiver position. And Jordan Love needs an X. He will get so much better with a true X wide receiver. That could be an A.J. Brown type of physical, big-bodied wide receiver who doesn't drop the ball ever. So maybe they don't draft him there, but I'm saying that's what I would do to make the Packers a better roster. Right now, they don't have an X wide receiver at all. So the Vikings are on the board. They could go so many different places, man. I don't even know where to go. Maybe Omar Norman-Lott, that makes some sense to the Vikings. That could be an interesting spot for him. I mean, Kelvin Banks, super solid guy too, man. Could they go wide receiver? A guy like Emeka Egbuka, I doubt it. Josh Simmons being on the board. Does he go to Minnesota? That could be interesting as well. Donovan Ezeraku, that could be interesting. I don't know. The Vikings are like one of those teams that I have no idea what they're going to do. I honestly have no idea. Kevin Winston Jr. from Penn State, I love him. He's been running up draft boards. He makes a lot of sense because their safety room is very old. So I'm going to go Kevin Winston Jr. to the Vikings at 24. Yeah, no, Shedeur Sanders went number 9 to the Saints. Now, Houston Texans fans, you're on the board at 25 overall. You got to go Kelvin Banks. You need a left tackle, a through-and-through left tackle. 89 overall grade pass rush. Good against the run, too, 81 grade. He gave up 1 sack in over 500 passing snaps this year. Extremely impressive guy. He's got the measurables, 6'4", 320. Banks goes to the Texans at 25. And now, on the board at 26, guys, where do we go for the Rams? The Rams definitely need a cornerback desperately, right? They could go corner. They could go tackle here, linebacker, corner. Yeah, you know where I'm going to go here? I do love Ben Morrison, but I know they've been really high on Maxwell Hairston. I think he goes to the Rams at 26 overall. Fastest guy at the combine this year. I think he ran like a 4.28. Pretty solid player. Got hurt a lot this year, so his numbers are a little skewed, but he had a really impressive 2023 campaign for Kentucky. So Hairston, they get a cornerback at 26 overall. Yeah, I agree. I think the Rams are going to be right there with it, guys. Now, Ravens fans, you're on the board 27 overall. Donovan Ezeraku still on the board. That can make some sense. Emeka Egbuka makes a lot of sense to the Ravens, too. They need playmakers desperately. Desperately. Jalen Walker, he could be interesting to the Ravens as well. I do like that pick there. Nick Scorton, he makes some sense, right? Big, physical, 6'4", 285. Really impressive on the edge. Ben Morrison, they could go a lot of different places here. the Ravens. So, where do I think the Ravens go? I really want to see the Ravens add some weapons on offense. Like, Zay Flowers can't do it all. Mark Andrews had that huge drop in the playoffs that helped them lose. Not great. In this 3-4 defense, they could definitely use some outside linebacker help, you know. Kyle Van Noy's getting older. I'm going Donovan Ezeraku to the Ravens at 27 overall. Now, Lions fans, you're up on the board, 28 overall. 28 overall for the Lions. They could use some edge help. They need edge help opposite of our boy Aiden Hutchinson. They need somebody who could get after the pass rusher. They need to get after the passer, excuse me. They run a 4-3 scheme, so they need a bigger guy. And a bigger guy that I think is big enough to set the edge is Nick Scorton for the Lions. I think at his size 6'4", 285, he fits this scheme perfectly. I like Nick Scorton to the Lions at 28 overall. Who did the Bears get at number 10? I went Will Campbell, the tackle/guard from LSU. I know the Bears brought in a lot of talent, but a lot of them are on shorter-term deals. Like Joe Thuney's on a one-year deal. He's in his mid-30s. And you bring in a younger guy to learn the NFL and then plug and play if people get hurt. You know, I love Will Campbell to the Bears for so many reasons because he could play tackle and guard, and he can learn those positions and not be forced to start right away. Yeah, I like Will Campbell there. I think that's a great pick if he's on the board. Yeah, I think a lot of people are still stunned. Yeah, Jared Goff played awful in that game, man. Straight up awful. Now, Commanders fans, you're on the board. Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name's Jay, host of the Jay All Day NFL show. We just hit 14,950 subscribers. Let's go! 50 more to go to 15K, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. What, you got to go out, Penny Lane? You got to go out? All right, we're almost done, Penny. We're almost done. Pick 29. Commanders are on the board. Where do we go here, guys? Yo, if Josh Simmons is on the board at 29, you probably got to go Josh Simmons. He is so good. If you watch his tape, he's extremely impressive. And you can put him at right tackle right away. They drafted a kid named Brandon Coleman at right tackle. He's not Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons can play you probably got to go offensive line there, man. I mean, I guess you could go edge. You know, they're in a 3-4 scheme. They need some edge help. You know, actually, I'm going to go Jalen Walker to the Commanders at 29. Bills, you're on the board. Edge, linebacker, cornerback, all positions in need. James Pierce could be very interesting for the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, to me, still need an ex-wide receiver, too, man. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big Keon Coleman guy. Yeah, Nick Emmanwori is really sliding down draft boards, man, Dylan, like considerably. You know, so. And the Eagles, Dylan, have never once drafted a safety in the first round. I don't think that changes. So the Bills have the 4-3 defense, right? So they need a bigger bodied guy. Maybe Omar Norman Lott, the D lineman. That could be interesting. Yeah, that sounds right. Omar Norman Lott goes to the Bills at 30. Can play all over that D line. Now, Chiefs fans, you're on the board at 31 overall. Josh Connerly's the pick. Excellent pass blocker, 83 overall grade. He's big, he's long, he's physical. He's only 21. Great player. Josh Connerly goes to the Chiefs at 31. Now, the Eagles are on the board at 32. And this is going to be a Philadelphia Eagles pick through and through. They could go edge. James Pierce Jr. is on the board. They're probably going to do that. But if Josh Simmons is on the board still, you might have to take Josh Simmons. Could he make it realistically to the Eagles all the way down at 32? Possibly. But James Pierce Jr. comes with a little bit of baggage. Shamar Stewart is on the board as well, another athletic freak. He's more fit for a 4-3 scheme, in my opinion. I do love Ben Morrison as well. But if James Pierce Jr. makes it down to the Eagles, I think they're going to take him. That's the way the Eagles roll. There it is, guys. Our round 1 mock draft. Genty goes to the Raiders at 6. Jahad Campbell, number 8, goes to the Panthers. The 49ers get the cornerback from Michigan, Will Johnson. Tyler Warren goes to the Colts at 14. What are some other ones? Omarion Hampton, the running back, goes to the Broncos. Jaden Higgins is my big surprise to the Packers at 23. Maxwell Harrison goes 26, the corner from Kentucky, to the Rams. Jalen Walker goes to the Commanders at 29. Connerly Jr. goes to the Chiefs at 31. And then the Eagles get James Pierce Jr. Malachi Starks went number 13 to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, I love myself some Malachi Starks. Matthew Golden, guys, goes to the Cowboys at number 12. Kelvin Banks goes 25 to the Texans. Appreciate you guys tuning into the Jay All Day Sports Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're up to 14,950 subscribers. Not 51 yet, guys. We need 50 more subscribers to get to 15,000. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. 14,950. Yo, name a car and I'll make you an edit. How about a 76 Stingray Corvette? That's my dad's car. My dad's favorite car. We got one in the garage back home. Do it up, man. I appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. We did a little live mock draft for you guys. Go Birds. We are less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. So if you want more draft content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to roll out for the night. The dog's got to go for a little walkie. So I'm out. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go Birds! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!